on the other.
Mm-hmm. The new one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One you just
But
put up.
the light of Christ?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I like the way he opened it with talking about...
It calls back to our last show. A little bit.
You think?
He talks about how there are many lights in the world. How do you
Yes.
determine which one is the light of Christ? And that's
Yes.
kind of what we were talking about with Gloriaville. A lot of it
Oh, right.
sounds very Christian.
Yes.
How can
Yeah,
you
it
tell?
does.
Yeah.
Yes,
Can you
you're
tell?
absolutely right. Because he was a little more direct with the different religions and...
He was.
Yeah, which is great. And,
Yeah.
you know, it really got me thinking, especially because you have to think, you know, basically he touched on the hypocrisy of a lot of Christians, which, you know, I'll admit, not admit, I know, I don't hide it. I know I'm a hypocrite.
You don't hide it.
But, yeah, but having said that, you know, I guess his whole thing is you don't have to, the message, one part of the message was you just love Christ. That's all we have to do. Like, we can be total jerks, but you still just have to love Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have to live the perfect life. You just have to love Christ.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that message.
Because you can't live the perfect life, right?
Right. And people who do, they come off as hypocrites. And then
Well, they probably are because it's impossible, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean when they do come off? Like, what do you mean? How are they coming off? Like, I'm perfect, or like, how do you? What is somebody coming off as like they're?
He wasn't.
Perfect.
He wasn't pointing at you under the table as he
No,
said it.
no.
Somebody
But I'm
that-
just interested in like
You
how
know-
you can portray somebody's portraying that
So,
behavior.
you know, I guess we're encouraged to live saintly lives, right?
Right.
But I don't. And if I were to try to pretend to, then
You mean like putting it out there, like you're
yes, like, you know, I'm reading
yeah.
the Bible every day, and you know,
and you're bragging about it, and then you're talking down to other people you think that are
like I
weak.
think you personally are, you know, joking.
Wow, I was gonna say, you know, I'm way below you are, Mr. Bible read every day.
Yeah, I read the Bible.
Yeah,
every
you
day.
see, if anything, he's putting it on
I know. He is.
because he tells me.
No, I was
reading
just,
the Bible
I was actually just
every
listening to
day.
our episode where he talked about that. Where
Yeah,
he quizzed
right.
us on the book of Mark.
Yeah.
remember?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he said, he
Yeah.
actually said, I've been reading the Bible every day, and
Yeah.
it's done nothing for me.
All right.
He said, I am not a better person because of it. So,
I'm still not a better person.
Actually, Paul, I mean, you're speaking the words of Paul. That's what he would say, right? I'm no better than I'm like the worst person.
the worst.
The worst,
Yeah.
right? So maybe you are becoming.
No, I'm not. I
You're
assure
not?
you, I'm just the same.
You're just realizing
I really
how
want
crappy.
to, though.
You're like, I'm reading this stuff. It's just not registering.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't. They just look
Yeah.
like random jumbled words
Yeah.
to me.
This isn't working, stupid book.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So
Where are you in your
John.
reading journey now, John?
yeah.
What do you remember? Like with the last one?
I'm in John.
That was
12.
John 12.
Yeah.
Oh, John 12.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a fine wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is John 12?
Well, it might be a little bit beyond that, but Christ was just crucified.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, Mary, and someone else was at the
John.
base. Was it?
The disciple that Jesus loved,
Oh, right.
John.
And that's when he said to John, "Behold your mother," and then he said to Mary, "Behold your son."
Nice.
Yeah, but I read it a couple times, and this could be because it's the Protestant version. But I swear there were 3 female names at the base of the cross, not John. And that's why I was like, wait a minute.
No, I think it is
Behold
the
your
2
son.
and then the one that he loved. I bet. I don't think there were any more women mentioned. Just remember the 2 Marys.
2 Marys and somebody else that I thought. Anyway, so yeah, that's why I know where I am, because I was kind of chewing on that. Like,
Yeah.
I read it a few times. I'm pretty certain that's what it said. So, anyway.
So did I mess up your train of thought? You were talking about people that are putting on airs and
No, I
making,
just wanted to.
acting
I was
like
talking
perfect.
About, Father Jay's podcast.
Yeah. So, what was the? I should listen to the podcast, but you mentioned he's pretty pointed at other.
Yeah, he says something like, the inclination in today's world is to believe that all religions are one, and we're all okay and whatever we've been. He's like, no.
Right.
He just came around and said, no.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. So that was my only thing.
Is that your point?
Yeah.
But then he went on to say that it isn't that there aren't, good points about other religions and other people can't be, holy to a degree and so on and so forth. Just that Christ is the truth. Christ is the one true light, was his point.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He wasn't saying other religions bad.
Right. But you just can't put them all into one big bowl of soup.
You can't just say
it's the
whatever
same.
you want to do, it's all the same.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But I also got to thinking about, and this might be way out in my field, so drag me back in if I'm out. So of all the things that could happen, to society, or whether it's planes going into buildings,
Sorry.
is that the outfield?
Center field.
Center field.
John Fogerty.
Yeah.
Or whether it's a plague that's hitting the plague of locusts, or whether it's
Locust.
zombies or whatever.
Yeah.
The current.
This is prep for the zombie apocalypse, by the way.
Yeah.
The coronavirus?
Yeah.
Mm.
Just getting us ready.
We had a taste of that a few years ago in Florida, I thought. But anyway, the coronavirus, of all things, does not draw people into church. Right?
In fact, it's changing the behavior of the people in the church, right?
Right. I wonder if it's going to force Catholic Mass to go online.
No, but the bishop actually made an announcement about it today. He dispensed the faithful from the requirement of Mass for the time being. So if you're concerned about it, or if you're sick, you don't have to go to Mass. It's okay. You can miss.
Is that Zubik?
For the time being, yeah. For
Okay.
the Diocese of Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mass itself will never be suspended. There always will be Mass.
Mm.
There will always be a priest there doing Mass, even if no one's there.
Trent Horn posted a tweet saying that it should be acceptable that we consider discontinuing Mass for the safety of our flock, and you would not believe the blowback he
Really,
got.
discontinuing Mass.
Just for a while until things...
I mean, I could see stripping
Yeah.
it down. Like, if you have
Yeah.
4 Masses in a weekend, just have
Yeah.
one Mass and say, it's open if you want to come, but
Mm-hmm.
there has to be Mass. You can't not have Mass.
Yeah, a lot of people got judgy with him after that, and then he was trying to defend himself, and then after his third reply, he's like, you know what? But then people were just continuing
Yeah,
to reply.
right.
Yeah.
Did you say you cared about
Yeah, right.
Isn't it a requirement that every priest must celebrate Mass daily? Even if they do it in their own home by themselves, they have to celebrate
so.
the Mass. I think that's true.
Yeah.
We'll ask Father Jay about that someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, I don't really come into contact with people when I'm at Mass. Like, we're definitely 3 feet apart. We just do the little wave.
You ever touch the rail of the pew in front of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do the 3-point stance.
Yeah. So
there was the announcement also. I didn't go to my home church one day because I missed spring forward and fallback day, so I was off by an hour and I had to run to Mass somewhere else, and they gave an announcement in front of the church about even when you're saying the peace be with you, not to just bow, smile, don't unless it's an immediate family member that you know. But it's gotten absolutely crazy out there. Like just in a couple of days, I don't know if the disease is metastasized here in the United States, but the worry, panic has definitely
No kidding.
metastasized everywhere. I know even at my work, it's impacting me about our leadership and what we're doing. Like we're all reacting to this.
it's funny. We're talking about this today, and tomorrow's episode I uploaded what we did last week.
Yeah.
So this will upload next Friday. What if everyone's dead?
Yeah. Right.
No one here sitting talking
Yeah.
about it. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Crickets.
Yeah. It won't be that. It'll be more just people panicked and overreacting.
The infrastructure's
Yeah.
down. There's no
Yeah.
there's no internet.
Yeah,
So
there's no internet.
Yeah.
No one's going to listen anyway. I mean,
Right.
not that they would anyway.
No.
Yeah.
The panic I was dealing with was my wife complaining and texting me continuously that she can't find toilet paper anywhere.
How about
There's this
Is that true?
great toilet paper. It was true.
today,
No, it was 2 days ago.
because
So
I gotta go to Giant Eagle after this. We have one roll left at home.
Are you
We
serious?
have one roll, and I'm gonna be embarrassed going in there buying toilet paper. because of the run on toilet paper.
Oh, I know.
And I'm gonna have to buy like something to go with it, like Cheez-Its or something.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
to cover it up.
Cheez-Its and toilet paper. Just like you're in high school. A box of condoms and...
And the Cheez-Its, please.
yeah, right. Well, it's the same thing. Do you ever buy feminine products for your...
Yeah, I have no qualms
Family?
doing that. I have no problem.
You don't have a problem doing that?
No. I put them front and center. I prop them up on the front of the cart, like the police light. So
Oh,
people
yeah.
can see. Yeah.
They're like, hello, I need some help over here for my tampons.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Excuse me. Need some help for some feminine name products.
But yeah,
I'm a male.
but I think
I'm a man.
the ridiculousness of it is people are worried about other people being stupid, so then they're stupid. So what they'll do is all these idiots are going to take the toilet paper, so God knows when I'm going to be able to get toilet paper, so now I'm going to take a bunch of toilet paper.
Yeah.
And we were in the same thing. My wife today sent me a picture. She had 3 big things of toilet paper sitting in her basket,
Yeah.
and she was relieved because it was the biggest crisis over the past 2 days.
Somebody was telling me today that a friend of theirs went to Sam's Club, and the shelves were empty. They tweeted a picture of them in front of the shelves with no toilet paper behind them.
Oh, really?
But they discovered there is an RV supplies section apparently at Sam's Club, and there's special RV toilet paper you can use in the toilet system in an RV, and nobody thought to go get the RV toilet paper. It was
Wow.
stock full.
See, now, I was going that route. I didn't think that intelligently, but I was just going, we can have another brand, but my wife, apparently we have to have Charmin, and it has to be a certain softness, too.
Oh, it was just that brand was gone.
Yeah, that brand was completely gone. Yeah. But they were price gouging. Like, we went to a couple places, and something that would have normally been $8, like I went to another store, and it was like $14, $16 for the same thing.
That's wrong.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, just use a wet washcloth, right?
Yeah,
No,
No?
not right. No.
Why not?
No.
Did you ever hear of a bidet?
yeah. Have you used one?
No, but you've probably got the
I've seen 'em.
squirty thing at the sink, right, for dishes.
I've always, yeah.
Where exactly is your toilet in your house? Is it in your kitchen?
No.
Because I only have the squirty thing
You
for
just
dishes.
spread your legs and waddle. Hope
my
nothing's
gosh.
dropping off.
I just try
The
to
dogs
hard.
will clean it up.
I wish I would have taken the time, though. I would love to look up stupid predictions in the past that never came about from news media, like for swine flu and what are the other
Bird
ones?
flu.
SARS, bird flu.
Uh-huh.
Like, I
Ebola.
would love to pull those up, right? Because I think what people do is they get into this anxiety phase and they get in this continuous worry about what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But with this thing, we don't have any experience of something spreading this quickly, right? And
Right.
being this contagious.
Yes.
It's potentially not as serious health-wise unless you already have issues or you're older or whatever. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's just taken off.
Yeah, and it's moving really fast.
Yeah.
There's actually a sick map from Johns Hopkins. It's just really well done that highlights and updates a couple times a day, all across the world, where the hot spots are in every state, including and how many have recovered. But you could get caught up watching that thing all the time, and then I mean that can even bother you because you watch that, and I mean it's just the panic sets in.
Did you ever play the game Plague Inc. on your phone?
I've heard of it. No.
Yeah, you're a disease, and the idea is to spread yourself as widely across the world as possible, and then become deadly and kill off the entire world population. But if you're noticed too early, before you become like whatever, it's actually bad. The cure can overtake you.
Okay.
I think COVID-19 has done that. I think it's become too obvious too early.
Oh, you think so? It's something we
I think
can get ahead
humanity
of.
will win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like the movie War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
Did you see that with Tom
Which one?
Cruise?
The Tom Cruise one?
Yeah, where they said at the end how, we overtook eventually, and it was what was it? Water, right?
That was Signs.
I just ruined it.
That was Signs with
Science was
Mel
water,
Gibson.
but no, I think water was.
Was it Water in War of the Worlds too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah.
What stupid aliens are these, right?
Yeah.
If water can kill you, why would you come to a planet that's like 90% water?
No, actually, it wasn't. It wasn't water. It was
Yeah,
like
they
it was.
rusted.
It was like the common cold. It
They
was like
rusted.
That's right.
It was.
Common
It
cold.
was. It was.
rusted.
They rusted.
It was
yeah.
very basic.
the
disease.
stupid-
It was the
thing
common
ever.
cold.
It was a
Cold.
common cold. It was like
Okay.
very basic disease because
Yeah.
they weren't acclimated like we were.
Like
They're
the
machines.
the
Yeah.
Native Americans, right? The smallpox.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
tore
they were
through.
feeding on humans.
Okay. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about it because I take colloidal silver every day.
And what does that
So-
do?
Well,
Sounds like something you stick in your butt. What?
Oh my gosh,
so,
yeah. Well, that cures all
you're
kinds of things, I guess,
Jim-
right?
Oh, that's a silver bullet. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
you
yeah.
heard of Jim Baker.
from
Yeah.
Jim and Tammy Baker, the evangelist.
from the '80s.
Yeah,
so
she
he
had
got in
the
trouble.
crazy makeup.
Oh yeah.
He slept with that Playboy model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She-
Jessica Hahn, right?
Yeah, that was
that's
it.
right.
Of course
Yeah.
you remember it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
do you remember the Simpsons episode where Homer created the makeup shotgun?
Makeup shotgun.
So that was his invention. So you pointed at your face, pull the trigger, and it would shoot makeup on, and you'd look like Tammy Baker.
That's great.
That reminds me of it. But
Did
yeah,
she die?
it's-
She died, right?
Yes, she did. She died of like cancer, I believe.
well, I don't know, but he's up
Yeah.
to his old. I mean, he's up making lots of money on colloidal silver right now. So, and he was just asked to stop doing that.
He's touting that it cures or prevents COVID-19,
Well,
right?
let me just tell you, and I'm going to have to quote this so that I get it right.
Yeah.
He had a natural health expert on his show named Cheryl Selman. And she said, with regard to the coronavirus and colloidal silver, well, let's say it hasn't been tested on this strain of the coronavirus, but it has been tested on other strains of the coronavirus and has been able to eliminate it within 12 hours. Totally eliminates it, kills it, deactivates it. Use the word deactivate.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
And how do
Who
you?
was that woman?
her name is Cheryl
What
Selman.
What are her?
She's a natural
credentials?
health expert.
Okay, so nothing. She's nothing basically.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
She's Jim's neighbor.
She's not a medical doctor, but she plays one on the Jim Baker show.
Obviously.
So how do you? Is this like a pill or what?
I don't know. I guess you drink it, or maybe put it on your head and dance around.
Or stick it
Yeah,
up your
he's
butt.
out there. He was into
You don't
doing.
know that you don't.
He jumped into doing prepper work. Like he was getting into prepper stuff
Yeah.
after. He's always trying to make a fast buck.
Yeah.
And he would try to make himself look like he's legitimate through this whole exercise.
Yeah. I don't know about trying. I think he is making a fast buck.
So who told
Yeah.
him? Who told him to quit?
The government.
The Missouri State.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was the
Not-
Attorney General. I
Not
guess?
like not the FDA.
I think it was the attorney.
state.
I think
I think it was the attorney general.
the state attorney generals have to like pick that up. And
Was colloidal silver is that ingestible? Is that potable? Well, that sounds like it'll
I
harm
don't
you.
think I would eat it personally, or
I don't know what
I
colloidal
don't know
means.
if you rub it on your
I
skin.
know it sounds kind of.
Well, I mean, it deactivates the coronavirus, so.
Oh, obviously. Okay.
It deactivates a coronavirus, right? A strain.
Well, let's say it hasn't been tested on this strain.
Yeah. Yeah. Not yeah. So there's like maybe COVID-16,
Right.
but not COVID-19.
Well, even the way that it's presented. Well, I'm not saying it won't work.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
that
Yeah.
it will work, but it works on these others. you
Yeah,
know?
right,
I just
yeah.
totally picture that. Just so slimy, like moving on you.
And is he still a televangelist?
I don't know.
In some way, he's still indirectly. I actually forced myself to sit and watch
Yeah.
because it's like watching a train wreck, you know. But like,
Does he still do the kind of thing like
Yeah.
reach toward the camera and be like, "I'm just someone out there
No.
having a pain in their neck, Lord Jesus, come to this person and help
Yeah.
them remove the pain in their neck now."
no, he doesn't do that anymore. But he still goes with that. Like, I learned my lesson, but now here's the new lesson, right? You know, and so he's just going a whole other route with all this crap. But I think he's like into prepping and like having food and preparation for home when things bad happen,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So
I remember when
Yeah.
Rob was mocking those guys, and he said, "Now I want you to put your hand in your wallet."
That's right.
yeah, put your one hand on the TV and your other in your wallet. I want you to take that money out and put it in an envelope. Yeah, no. It gets really crazy with how people act with it, and I think you find out. I mean, I think to Lee's point, it's probably not going to be as bad as people were playing it out to be, right?
I like it when you say that To Lee's point, you say that
Yeah.
fairly often, and it makes it sound like I actually had a point. I like that.
Yeah, your point was that, we probably
me
got
feel
ahead of
good.
it. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Right? So,
I don't know.
there's a lot of verses that Jesus talked, in the Bible about worry and how ridiculous it is. I think some of those things could apply in what we're dealing with today. The one that really stuck out to me, that, where was it?
What, me worry? Didn't Jesus say that?
Yeah, that was Alfred E. Newman, I
Oh,
think.
yeah, that's right. Well,
Yeah.
it was somebody with a gap in his teeth.
Where was this?
I don't think
There's
Jesus.
a bunch of these. And I made sure these were Catholic. So they have a Catholic, they're from the Catholic Bible.
Do they have the imprimatur on them?
Huh?
Do they have the imprimatur?
What is that?
The thing that's in a book that tells you that it's been checked for heresy,
Oh, the little symbol.
The imprimatur from the bishops.
No, it doesn't. Can you do that on the web?
Yeah, I'm sure there are websites that have that.
It just uses the Times New Roman font.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, so that's all it needs to.
Oh yeah, this is the one I really like. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. That's in Matthew 6:34.
That's awesome.
Tell everyone who's discouraged, be strong and don't be afraid. God is coming to your rescue. That's Isaiah 35:4. But now that is what the Lord says, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name. You are mine. So I think if you really believe in God and you really trust in His way and what He does, I think even if you wind up getting the disease or somebody close to your family, you shouldn't just you could overreact to the whole thing. What Lee said and was mentioned is like older people and people that are susceptible to that have, what do you call, like autoimmune deficiencies. They can also be confronted with that. So you should be smart, with what you're doing and try to use hand sanitizer with over 60%, right? But at the same time, don't let it take over your whole thoughts about, and you get so focused on it, you're looking at the map and you're like, what am I going to do? Do I just stay at home and be afraid, right?
Yeah.
I think reading the Bible is probably a good...
I'm surprised
Things
you
take
didn't
comfort.
pull out the one with look at the birds in the air, how they.
That's in here.
Maybe he will. He's got more than one.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were done.
No, well, there's a bunch.
Yeah.
Jesus told him, don't be afraid, just believe. Let me see another one. I'm not. Some of these are in Psalms, so they're not from Jesus.
Sure they are.
Well, sort of are, yeah. Yeah, let me look up the Jesus ones with
Mike,
the same
put your
time.
pants back on.
Jesus.
Well, he said not to worry, so I was getting comfortable.
I'm done worrying about whether you're looking at my penis or not. I'm taking my pants off.
What?
I don't know.
What?
I heard your zipper. You're playing with your vest zipper.
Here's a good one. Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing?
So that's what Mike was thinking right now.
Look
Yeah.
at the birds in the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life?
That's awesome.
So do we just put old people in there instead of birds? Or are we more valuable than old people?
Well, no, but there's a lot of times I'm
That was so inappropriate.
leaving for work in the morning.
Yeah.
In the spring,
Yeah.
and the birds are flying around, and it's freezing cold.
I know.
And I think about that. Like, look at them,
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Or even in the winter when it's like cold and they're still hanging around, but there's no food that I can see, but they're fine.
Right.
So,
They're not worried about where they're going to find food.
right.
They'll just find food.
Do you guys ever actually, like as a man though, do you worry in general about things? Like, do things bug you that you get consumed by?
No, but I'm weird.
So things don't actually bother you to where you might lose sleep or you might get consumed with it, and you kind of takes you off track.
Well, there's no point. What does that achieve?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just wondering, do you have those moments? Do you?
No, my wife has enough for both of us.
Does she?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I used to. I mean, I can't say used to. I still have those moments, but I think as I've aged, I've seen so many times on how often I've worried about things and they wound up not occurring. And I'm like, I just wasted all of my time and all of my lack of sleep.
And even if they do occur, if all you were doing was worrying about them, you still wasted that time.
Absolutely. There's one article that I read about, which there's a couple helpful things that I saw that people write about worrying. If you are consumed with it, there's a couple things you can do. One is more long term, and this is interesting. They said if you are a worrier, you should list out as many things on paper that you're worried about. Write them all down. Don't prioritize them, just list them. And hide them and schedule a date 6 months later. Go back and reread them and check off each one of them that actually happened. And you'll be surprised to find how small, like the one guy said, he had a 60% success rate. And the ones that he was actually worried, the ones he was most worried about didn't happen, but these were things that he couldn't even control. So what was the point of worrying about it?
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, there's that mechanism, which I thought was interesting. The other, where was it right here? Let me read this one. This one was a good one. This guy, I don't know if this guy's a Satan worshiper or whatever. His name's Darius Foru. But I liked his concept. He's probably a decent dude. He talks about self-monitoring. Have you heard of that concept? So like this would be really good for me. And I actually talked to somebody else said that they do this. Like one of the problems that I'd have, if something would worry me right before I go to bed, I would fight it. Well, no, what would happen is I'd be so exhausted I'd fall asleep. But as soon as I woke up midnight, in the middle of the night, that worry would consume me and I would fight it in my sleep the whole time. But the idea would be that you write all of your most important worries down, things that are bothering you. You write them on paper, and then you write what things could you do to improve your outlook in that worry over time. It doesn't you won't necessarily solve it overnight, but what are things that can make it incrementally better? Write those down.
You just start attacking the things with that problem.
And then you just attack it day after day to where it just goes away. But even, like, I know a friend of mine that when I was telling him I was having a really tough time sleeping because of the things that I was worried about, and they were mostly work stupid items. But I was so worried about them, and he said that he would keep a notebook beside his bed. And when he would fight his sleep like that, he would wake up, take his notepad, write what is bothering him, and he would write why it's bothering him. And usually you'd see the why was so stupid that he's like, well, this isn't a big deal. I can figure this out in 5 minutes when I wake up later. And then he'd be able to go back to sleep. And it was no big deal. So,
did you ever try that?
No, I was too lazy to actually get the notepad over beside my desk.
You won't even prepare for it.
So I probably shaved like 15 years off of my life because I didn't follow that. But I don't let things bother me like that anymore. Like I think I'm more in Lee's cat. Were you ever worried about anything?
No, you know what? I think I think I've redirected those sorts of feelings into. I think that's where a lot of like my physical tics and things come from.
Okay.
From like pushing my emotions down so hard that kind of stuff has come out in other ways, and so I think that's where like a lot of my ticking behavior comes from. The fact that I didn't feel free to emote that sort of thing.
Does the ticking thing increase when things are like in a bad way?
Yeah.
Well, so were you in your meeting at church today? Were you like ticking?
Well, anytime I'm at a meeting more than like a half hour, I start bouncing.
You start doing
that. But like when I'm anxious or excited or something's going on, I will definitely.
So that's the way it comes out of you.
Yeah, but in a way, though, I mean that's a blessing because I'll take that over feeling worried all the time.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
No,
I don't care if people stare at me.
That's okay. You should overemphasize it even more, like break into dance or something.
You know what's weird? When I try to, like when I've told you when I'm by myself they come out a lot more. Like
Yeah.
they're not as evident. I
Yeah.
keep them fairly subdued when I'm around people. But if I ever like try to recreate what I'm doing, like if I would want to show you like what it looks like,
Yeah, you can't do it.
I can't. It's weird.
That is weird.
It's like it's very forced. I can't even often recall all the things that I do.
Oh my gosh. That is.
I could do some of them for you, but it would be weird.
You should get a facial tattoo.
Do you want to?
What does that have to do with?
What does that have to do with anything?
Because then you said you don't care if people are looking at you.
Oh,
or not,
okay,
Because
okay.
then they could just look at the facial
So I
tattoo.
should just be Post Malone.
Sure, if that's what you're into. I was thinking more just like a teardrop or maybe some.
Well, that means
words on the-
that means I killed a guy in prison. I get a teardrop.
Oh yeah. Well, did you?
People be like, "Yo, what's up, man?" I'll be like,
Yeah.
It wasn't me. I'll get shivved on the street. Thanks, Mike.
Face tattoo.
Yeah, actually, Post Malone, I read, said that he got his face tattoos because he thinks he's so ugly that he wanted to be able to look at himself in the mirror and say, "Yeah, you're a cool dude."
Oh really? He thought the face tattoos would make.
That's
him cool.
why he started getting face tattoos, so he could focus on that instead of his face, because his self-image was so bad.
Wow.
You must read the same things that my 14-year-old daughter reads because she said she brought up the same thing.
Really? You knew
Yes,
that from
I
that?
did.
Well, let me tell you about Ariana Grande.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know what 14-year-olds listen to now. I don't
Yeah,
even
no.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he dropped some expletives.
He did.
Expletives
He did.
in it, and she, of course,
Said
found
them?
that
Said
as
them
an
for you?
opportunity to use that.
I'm just reading the article,
Yeah,
Dad.
Dad. It just
Yeah.
says that word.
Yeah. Let me read exactly what he said.
Yes.
I don't think you heard me. Let me redo it
Yeah.
one more
He
time.
did. He said he was an ugly ass MFer.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That was like a threefer there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my wife has a tattoo on her arm,
Oh, no.
and my daughter always takes a pen and draws stuff.
Oh, yeah?
on her own.
Does she have a sleeve?
On her, yeah. Sometimes she sleeves herself up, but
No, it's a tattoo sleeve. Like, is her whole
That's what I
arm
said.
covered?
You think your daughter's gonna tat up
oh,
when
my
she's
wife?
Yeah.
No, it's on her forearm right here.
Oh, but your
It's on
daughter
her
will
forearm.
draw tattoos on
Yeah,
herself.
sometimes she'll sleeve up her own.
With a marker?
Yeah, like
Yeah?
a pen or
That's
something. But
funny.
anyway,
Do any of us have tattoos?
No.
I don't. Wow, how about that?
We had an episode on tattoos.
Yeah.
Did we?
You talked about
I
what you would
should've
have
listened.
if you had one.
Yeah, I
Said you'd
couldn't-
have one on your.
Oh, I did think of
your-
that. That's true. I didn't think of that.
On your inside of your
Yeah,
wrist.
I'd probably change my mind now.
Really?
So I'm glad I didn't get it.
yeah. In that episode, I also talked about why I don't have a tattoo.
Why is it?
Because if I had gotten a tattoo when I wanted it,
Oh, it would have been
would
really.
say Ozzy across my knuckles.
Oh, that's right.
O-Z-Z-Y. And,
That's great.
And now thinking back, anytime I'm like, oh, it'd be neat to have a tattoo.
Yeah.
No.
It would be on your hand.
You think your daughter's gonna tat up when she's
Oh
old
yeah,
enough?
she's definitely gonna. Tat
She's
up,
gonna
yeah.
tat up.
Yeah.
She's gonna get some Civil War tats though, probably.
Oh yeah. 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 Something like Lincoln's address or something.
Like it's the
Down her
Declaration of Independence. 4 and 40.
Gettysburg Address, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Gettysburg. Yeah.
So.
That's funny.
Jordan Peterson's approach on worry, and he says he counsels a lot of people that have anxiety issues. He said usually people that overanalyze things, they sometimes have an anxiety problem. One guy asked a question that he said he smokes continuously because it helps him calm down his thinking. His thinking's constantly analyzing everything, and it slows down his thinking process. He's like, how can I stop doing that and find a more healthier approach to
Yeah.
address that? And he had some biological aspect to it to approach it. I mean, one, he believes if you worry a lot, it could be a health related issue that you have. You should get up at the same time every day. Like, I don't know if do you consistently wake up at the same time every morning?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, the dog gets me up.
About the same time? For the walk?
No, just to go out.
Yeah. The interesting thing that he said is you should, if you are in that category, you should eat a large breakfast and keep it carb light, fat and protein heavy, and more than you want. So don't just go to, I want to eat more, eat a little more. He said that if you're anxious and you don't eat breakfast, your body, when you're feeling that way, will hyperproduce insulin. And it'll take the blood sugar out of your body and it'll dysregulate your metabolism. throw you into disarray. So he said it'll just screw the rest of your day.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. He's cured people from anxiety
Peterson said all?
just from his 2 changes. Yeah.
Cool.
He said that's one of the first things he does with a new patient. He gets them getting up. He said, I don't care what time you go to bed. You have to get up every day at the same time.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, a high protein breakfast,
Yeah. Low in the carbs.
low in carbs. Yeah.
And physical exercise is supposed to be a good way to fight it, like weightlifting was an example. And the other one that I thought was good, and this is something I may need to do, like when I've had my depressive bouts, he said make a schedule and keep to the routines. So if you give your time through the day to just kind of let sit there and not have anything planned in your day, then your worry can come right back in because you really don't have anything that you're focusing on. You're just letting, like, if you're mindlessly watching TV, which is fun to do sometimes, but if you're doing it because you can't think of anything else to do, that can lead you into other troubles.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's something else that he says too.
Yeah.
Pick a room in your house or keep your room clean. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get something that'll keep you moving.
Yeah.
And you do feel better in a clean room.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've accomplished something, and your world's a little better place.
Yeah.
Nice.
So do you think we'll be able to continue to meet together? Are we going to try to keep this thing going while this is all going on? The COVID-19 crisis?
They haven't
Of
whittled it down
2020.
yet to groups of 3 that you
Yeah,
shouldn't-
so I think we
shouldn't
should
get
be
together.
okay, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think individuals are the problem right now. It's the people in charge. They're the ones that are making me nervous
Why?
by exhibiting power over these gatherings and making decisions for people. For
Well, that's-
individuals, like we
Yeah.
I don't
So
have
you're-
any problem meeting.
You're saying make everything optional and just use your best judgment. Is that
Well,
what
I
you're
guess
saying?
what I'm saying is there something like this right now
Mm.
is allows someone to take advantage of it and make changes that impact society.
You're afraid of it becoming a police state or something like that?
I'm not saying that.
Well, like enforced, what do you call it? Forced, when you got to be in by a certain time. What is it called?
Curfew?
Yeah.
Curfew, forced curfews and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think Norway just shut down their country. They're not allowing anybody in or out of there as well, I think.
Yeah. And,
Italy's done it.
and what was the announcement? Was it last night or the night before? Something about no flights from Europe?
Yeah, I was just talking to Alex about that. She said it's
Yeah.
mainly Great Britain. Apparently.
Great Britain, you were allowed to go back and forth, but most of the other countries,
For 30 days it's locked down.
yeah, it's locked down.
Although,
So no one's coming into the U.S. from Europe.
apparently South America's still okay, though.
Well, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, hopefully, yeah. At least for
Not
this weekend,
going there,
and
so-
you're going right after. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's right. What happens if that gets canceled next week?
I'll drive.
Well,
Okay,
you know,
good. Because
it's-
Rob and I had a lot of fun planned without you. So
driving all the way through Central America on down to South America.
Well, I'll drive back.
Wow.
if you get there and the flights are canceled,
Well, I guess the other thing is swimming. I mean, I suppose I could swim.
Are you a really good
Well,
swimmer?
not that good.
No.
No. I can swim the length of an Olympic pool.
you just do that
Yeah.
a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Get over here.
A lot of larger companies are setting policies to make people work from home, and that's becoming an interesting phenomenon as well.
Yeah.
Where they're allowing that to happen, and a lot of the schools, they're extending their spring break. Like Pitt, just here, they extended their spring break. I think another week or two, and then they're gonna.
Oh yeah. So Slippery Rock did the same thing.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Slippery Rock. Slippery Rock did that, and they're extending right into the finals.
Yeah.
So they're basically they're curbing the amount of coursework to get your final grade on. So you wonder, a lot of these things are we being overreacting? But I think if the idea is that we're trying to keep large groups from being together, it could be a pretty smart way.
Right. Well, I mean, the way to kill the thing is to just let it die out, right? Because
Yeah, right.
it continues by spreading to other people.
Right.
So if we stop getting together,
Yeah.
theoretically, it's going to have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And it'll just peter out.
NHL suspended today.
They did.
Yeah. NBA suspended yesterday.
Yeah.
NCAA playing.
Canceled. They flat out canceled.
Oh, NCAA canceled the tournament.
Stop playing.
They used the word canceled in the article I read.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest concern that I have with all of these things is what's it going to do to the economy, and how is it going to impact?
It's gonna be bad.
I mean, it's going to be really bad for
Just think of
people who
like
aren't going out.
the NHL, all the people that make their living selling concessions at hockey games.
Yes.
Wow.
Steve Kerr, I saw. Did you see his interview yesterday?
No.
I don't know if it was legit, but he was
Stephen Curry.
Steve. I think it's Steve Kerr.
There is a Stephen Curry. There's also a Steve Kerr.
He's the coach of the.
Yeah. He's a former player. Short white guy.
Yeah, he's a coach of the Golden State Warriors, and he
Who's
looked like he was coming
Steph
to
Curry
tears.
plays for.
Yeah, it looks like he was coming to tears over that very conversation he was having about the people that work.
I saw a
in the
headline.
arenas.
I didn't read it, but it said something about Mark Cuban saying that he's going to take care of those people who worked for the Mavericks.
That would be excellent. I could see him doing that too. That makes sense. And there looks to be there's a lot of people in the government that are looking to curb our taxes and make changes to allow.
I just did my taxes last night.
I know.
Wait, you're saying I don't have to do my taxes?
Well, no, I think some people are like
Getting a tidy little refund. So I'm glad I did.
Kramer. What's that guy Kramer? The one that
Jim Kramer.
Jim Kramer
Cosmo
said that
Kramer.
we should cut all taxes. We shouldn't pay taxes at all this year. Meaning, like I think your bank's your pay statement would be gross. You wouldn't have taxes.
Oh, the government
most
should
part.
just give you your money
I
this year.
believe. I mean, it was just a little article. I didn't get to read all of it, but I believe they're looking at extreme ways to make sure that people are compensated.
Wouldn't it be amazing to actually make your salary?
I know. I was just looking at that.
Oh wow.
We got our bonuses today, and I looked at it. And I heard the gross number, and then I saw the bonus. I'm like, how are they taking so much of that
Yeah.
money away?
Oh,
I mean, it's
60%
insane.
goes to the government. Okay,
It's
great.
like, I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, what's going on in the work household? How are you? Are you concerned about the COVID virus? What are you all doing? Anything change in procedure?
I'm trying to think. No.
You have a little extra hand sanitizer around?
No.
No, so you just
No,
kind of.
things are normal. Yeah.
Mhm.
The one thing I did notice that the other day is, I love you, honey, but I noticed that the kitchen sink only had hand pump soap, and I'm like,
You like bar soap?
no, we normally have like in each sink we have hand sanitizer or soap. So
Okay.
you can wash your hands one of two ways, either with water or with the hand sanitizer. I prefer the hand sanitizer personally.
But that's not a thorough washing, really, right? Like, if you want to really wash your hands, you want to use soap.
Yeah. Right. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm surprised I'm surprised you even say that because you're kind of freaky about cleanliness.
I use hand sanitizer. It kills all the germs. 99.99% of the germs.
You freaky and I like you or what?
Yeah.
Oh, you freaky and I like you.
So anyway, so I
I
noticed
think
that
you freaky. Sorry.
there was only
Deontvort. You guys know Deontvort?
No.
You don't know Deontvort.
Hmm.
I'm going to have to show you that video when we're done.
well,
What style of music is
I
it?
think you freaky. I think you freaky and I like you a lot. I think you.
Where did you even pick this up?
You don't know Deontvort at
No.
all? Wow.
No.
Okay.
What's-
They're
what-
South African.
Okay, what genre is that?
I don't know.
And how did you even pick it up?
What is that?
I'm sorry.
Is that your phone?
Yes.
Can't
I
you
thought I turned it off,
Can
but
you-
clearly I didn't.
pretend you're at mass and put it on silent?
I don't do that either.
Do you not do that
No,
en
I'm
masse?
kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow. Has it?
It's a pleasant sound,
I
though.
don't know. They're kind of metal. They're kind of poppy. They're kind of. And it's weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll play it
Oh.
for you when we're done.
So anyway,
It is a pleasant sound. You're right.
yeah. I thought I turned it off, but we'll do it again. I turned it off. Oh. So anyway, so the kitchen sink only had soap, no
Mhm.
hand sanitizer.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, someone read an article that you should wash your hands only with hot water and soap.
So I was supporting Amy
Yes,
just now.
that's what. But that wasn't the case.
Oh.
The case was we only the hand sanitizer at the store was out.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
So that's another crisis.
Yes.
People are running out of hand sanitizer.
and no toilet paper.
Wow.
So
That's cray-cray.
no, I'm not saying that anyone should make a run on either of those things. I'm just saying
Until you
that
at least get
particular
yours.
That particular store, probably Aldi, there was no
Yeah.
hand sanitizer. So But yeah, other than there's nothing different.
So what did the mass now? There's a discontinued drinking the precious blood, right? So
Right.
it's just the focus on the bread.
Because the true presence of Christ,
Is in
body,
both.
blood, soul, and divinity, is present in both species. Yeah.
Right.
In the host and in the precious blood. You could
Right.
actually take either one and
Mhm.
receive full communion. So it's a little bit redundant to take the host and then take the blood, because
Mhm.
you've already received the fullness of Christ in the host.
Okay.
I like receiving the blood as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
But apparently, at one point in the church, there was no precious blood distributed to the public. The priest consecrated it and did it, but there was only the host distributed.
Now the blood is distributed. Is it distributed in a silver
It
vessel?
has to be silver.
Well, I think the reason I say that is because I used to creep out about the thought that I'm drinking after somebody else, and somebody made me aware. I think it's made of sterling silver. The silver has properties that combats
Oh,
transporting of bacteria between people.
cool.
It does some weird effect to it to where, because if you think about it, everybody has a cold and they go up there and they're drinking the wine, and you're coming right after and you're drinking right after them.
Well,
Like,
it's
how is it-
alcohol. There's it has to be a certain alcohol content,
So you think the alcohol also fights off the bacteria?
and it's also a trust in the Holy Spirit, I think, and an acknowledgement that this is the blood of Jesus Christ.
So you think that might have an element to where it prevents you from getting sick?
So watch the priest.
I don't worry about it, Rob.
The priest consumes everything that remains.
Right.
So-
Or the extraordinary minister of Holy Communion. Like, yeah,
but if they don't, the priest.
the
does.
priest has to. Yes.
And priests aren't sick all the time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So clearly, there's something going on, whether it's the
Because they're getting
silver-
everybody's backwash. You're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The whole congregation. You're finishing whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So the point is, either it's the silver, or it's the alcohol, or it's the Holy Spirit. One of the three keeps the priest, or good health. It keeps the priest from being sick all the time.
Did you ever see the movie The 13th Warrior?
I've
No.
never even heard of it.
It's about a group of Vikings, and Antonio Banderas is in it. He plays an Arabic like ambassador who ends up with this group of Vikings, and they have to go fight this nemesis. But so the Vikings all wake up, having slept in the same room. They wake up, and the first thing in the morning, they pass around this bowl of water. And so the first guy splashes his face, and then sucks it up into his nose and spits into it and hawks it up and spits
Into the bowl?
all of that, yeah. And then passes it to the next guy who does the same thing. And they just keep passing it around, the same bowl of water. Like the 12th guy has everybody's spit and
That would
snot,
never work.
and they don't think anything of it.
Yeah.
It does say, this is from the National Catholic Register, it says some people suggest that the alcohol in the wine protects the drinker. Unfortunately, the low alcohol content of the wine is not antiseptic. A swab from the cup and
Because it's
onto
not
a
grain or something. Yeah.
onto a nutrient petri dish would prove the point to the most devout communicant.
Okay. So I'm wrong about that.
Well, either way, that what you said just now would not work. But did you watch that YouTube video I shared?
What do you think?
Probably not, but I know Rob did.
Mm.
So my priest showed a YouTube video during his homily.
Oh, I saw that. I saw you said that in
Yeah.
the text. Yeah.
And it was called The Veil Removed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a depiction of the Mass and what happens during the Mass, a dramatization during the Mass. And it was
Oh,
very
right.
moving and beautiful, and
Nice.
Mhm.
yeah, it showed Christ above the cup,
Mm.
dropping blood into the cup. It was-
Off of the crucifix.
No.
yeah,
Wow.
and angels coming.
While he's holding when he's doing this part,
Yeah,
and the blood's dropping in.
Yeah. Wow.
It's pretty cool.
and
Cool.
Everybody, people in the congregation had a guardian angel beside them.
Oh wow.
And even this mother, it was soon to be mother, had two. One for the baby.
The baby.
One for her.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, it's only 5 minutes. Like it's just.
Is it well produced?
Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
well produced.
cool.
I mean, there's a couple things that kind of made me think about your opinion of Christian productions,
Well.
but the quality of Christian
Yeah,
production.
yeah.
There was a couple things, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, by and large, it was good. Good.
Yeah, I recommend it.
I will watch it, maybe.
Yeah, I doubt it.
It's actually very brief. It doesn't take that long to read it.
Yeah, you should. You know what?
To watch it.
5 minutes is 5
Just
minutes.
watch it.
We'll see. Maybe.
Now that we know when we're starting to piss him off because he'll start ticking a little bit, and you can see that he's reacting.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah,
he does
then
that
we'll-
around me all the time. Just I walk into the room and I have that now.
Then he just goes into
Does
a.
it.
He's just like all over the
Yeah.
place, and you're
It's
just
like,
putting it off.
He's here.
Yeah, right. He's here. Damn it! He made it again.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I don't have coprolalia.
What is that one?
Fart!
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Oh,
Fart!
yeah.
Fart!
Yeah, right.
Mike's here. Fart!
There was I was watching one episode. There's this really cool show where people have really extreme versions of ticking and what have you, and they really have a hard time finding a job. And
Oh, I love that show.
Sure.
yeah, it's
Yeah, we've talked about
really
that.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but the one person's tick is they would take swings at things. They'd punch, like, and so everything that was around him, like the cabinets were damaged, like in the van, like he couldn't
People
go
too?
long distances.
What do
You had to watch, yeah, because he. Well, the other thing that
be ready to
this
duck.
other person did was they'd flip off everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Their tick was
Yeah.
right in their face, like in public.
That doesn't
Like
sound
I
like
feel so bad.
That's not a dick, Rob. That's totally made up.
That's an excuse.
Like South Park. Yeah.
It's just amazing what they said that all those people though are brilliant people. Like they all have brilliant. They're usually very creative, or they have. It depends. They fall into different camps. If they're more on the autistic spectrum, I think they're more their ability to solve very complex things and see it and find the problems with it is like amazing. And then they would find really cool jobs for them. Like this one, the person on the autistic spectrum, he loved the concept of highways and moving cars, like cars moving through traffic. And did you see that one?
I did.
That was amazing, wasn't it? And he was able to look at roads and be able to understand where the choke points were and what type of signs or lights or whatever needed to be planned for that to
Wow.
work appropriately.
City planner.
Yeah, well, that's what ended up happening. They had him and they gave him 4 areas and they had him analyze the data and they wanted him to come up with recommendations. Well, they had these professionals. I think it was a year-long project, right? And they paid a ton of money for these professionals to come and analyze the data and come up with recommendations. He was able to look at it in like a couple hours, and he came up with the same recommendations. You're like, we're going to hire you. You're going to be
Yeah.
part of our.
They should have him
It's
look.
like save money for the. It's just amazing how.
They should have him look at 9, 10, and 79.
I
Yeah,
know.
that would be nice.
It's crazy. So no special preparation is at home at your place either.
No, none. Although Maureen just told me today, she's in elementary school. She's a teacher, not a student.
That would be a little creepy, wouldn't
Thank
it?
you for clarifying.
Yeah.
And there's a kid. She just found out today that one of the kids there, his dad had a business trip to Philly, came into contact with someone who has the virus, and came back, and the kid has been in school all week.
Oh wow.
I have a feeling that like the local schools haven't shut down yet.
Woodland
I have a
Hills
feeling
did.
Woodland Hills did.
Woodland Hills did because the exact same thing happened.
I'm
to
surprised
somebody
NA
else.
hasn't. I would just think big ones like that would just be like, we're going to stop for a while.
Yeah, well, NA is going through with the approach that they call it flexible
They are, yeah.
education, where they're going to have people start working from teaching
Oh, they are?
from home eventually if it gets any worse.
I think they will. And
Yeah.
so I think the same thing will happen to Maureen. And Zach is a CCAC student now, so I imagine CCAC will go online too.
He's at the CAC.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What's he studying?
psychology.
Well, that sounds like a really good strain for
Yeah,
him.
his intent is to transfer to Penn State. When he's older.
That is excellent.
That's a good
That
plan.
seems like that'd be right in his wheelhouse.
He
too.
wants to be a clinical psychologist. Yeah.
Jordan Peterson Part 2.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Does he like Jordan Peterson?
I loves him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's excellent.
Well, let me ask you, Rob.
What?
Same question.
Well, yeah, I listened to a guy.
And your wife's in the airline industry, so
Yeah. Well, that's what she told me. She said, don't go
she
telling
told
them
me
on
she's
the
in the
flight.
airline industry. I don't know.
She told me not to tell people
I didn't say
because
what she
they're gonna.
did.
they're gonna make
You did.
start
You just
making
said
me
what she did.
Self-quarantine.
I didn't.
Right.
He totally set you up, Rob.
Yeah. Well, that's what I worry because Mike is going to out me in front of a lot when if things got really bad.
Yeah.
He's married to a flight attendant.
He probably
Quarantine
brought it into the
him.
office.
Yeah, he brought it into the office.
He's just waiting. He's got
He
that
totally
in his pocket.
sell me out.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
the whole
Yeah.
while, as soon as people look away, I'll look at Rob and smile.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. No, but we're not. I mean, I listen to Bloom Daddy. He's really funny. He's a local dude, but he talks about how he was raised and how unclean he is about worrying about washing his hands. Like he told a story that he just killed rabbits 2 weeks ago. He was hunting in the woods. He killed a couple rabbits and he cleaned them. And then he grabbed his sandwich and started eating it and realized he had blood on
That's
his
pretty
hands.
gross.
Yeah, and then he said he washed his hands after the whole thing. He said, that's been my whole life. He goes, and he said he's only gotten sick one time. And when he means sick, he says he gets colds and stuff, but he got the flu one time in his whole life last year. And he believes some people overly sanitize and overclean to where they're actually weakening their immunity system.
Yeah, they did a whole episode of The Office about that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Dwight said instead of hand sanitizing stations, we should have hand desanitizing stations. Bowls full of dirt and vomit and feces.
Oh my gosh. I do believe there is a balance. I don't think you go to that extreme, but I do believe there is a balance that if you can try to keep things over sanitized, it could actually hurt you as well. Like I think there's bacteria in your body that's good for you.
God made dirt so dirt won't hurt. Did you hear that?
Well, makes your gums start to work.
I never heard that part.
No, I
What?
think I
Say it
heard
again?
that part. God made dirt and it don't hurt. Put it in your mouth, make your gums start to work.
Oh, wow.
You know, like chewing.
Hmm.
No, anyway.
We should be. We're gonna wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
Well, let me.
I got a couple other things. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Rob.
No.
I'll
Nothing around this. No, this is good. Keep going.
No,
it was
this
gonna be
isn't
some.
related to the.
Mine wasn't related either.
Fight,
All right, you
fight,
go.
fight.
Yeah.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
Canadian boy 8 wins $200 worth of cannabis products at youth hockey tournament.
At a youth hockey tournament?
Yeah. So this boy played hockey, and in this tournament they had raffles, and the raffles there were supposed to be gift baskets, but the gift baskets weren't there. They only had pictures of the baskets, and so when you look at it, it looked like it had chocolates and everything, but they're all edibles and things. Well, he wound up winning the gift basket. And he came home with it, and he was all excited about it. And they found it had $200 worth of pot, and it included cannabis paraphernalia, including edibles, a lighter, and a smoking apparatus.
Gosh.
That was
And
in Canada.
the hockey tournament people knew that
Oh,
this
they
was
were
there?
freaking out.
They didn't know.
No, they had no idea.
Somebody just turned this basket in and someone was like, oh, chocolate's nice.
Riddell, a policeman for 32 years, called the situation ridiculous. There is no place for drugs in children's hockey tournament. I think that's a pretty good one.
Did they earn money on it?
Huh?
Did they earn money on?
Turn
something?
around and sell it.
Oh yeah, the kid said, my grandson thought he won a great prize. Rydell said, Dad, I won chocolate. No, there's bad drugs in the chocolate. How do you explain that to a kid?
Just
So
like
they basically
that.
gave him chocolate edibles. Yeah.
And then you just go buy him some chocolate.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's
and then
a
you
life lesson.
then you eat the brownie, right?
Then you can't.
You eat it.
Right.
All right, what do you got?
Well, no, I was going to talk about Ave Maria, Florida.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of that, Lee?
Is it a town?
It's a tent.
Oh, it's a university. It's a college. Yeah.
So it's that and
I know someone who goes there.
it was built by the founder of Domino's Pizza.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So he's a big time Catholic.
Yeah, the whole town was built by this guy. I mean,
Really?
You know, other investors too, but he spearheaded the whole thing.
Huh.
And
And they named it Ave Maria.
Ave Maria. Well, there's an enormous church there with a 30-foot tall sculpture of the Annunciation. And the inside, there's some pictures on the web. Look for it. It's
This isn't near
just
Orlando, is it?
Beautiful. It's near Naples.
Okay.
It's from 2005, so it's about 15 years ago.
Because when we went to Disney a couple years ago, we went to Mary Queen of the Universe in Orlando.
I remember. I know that place.
Yeah.
That's when I was non-Catholic. I used to make fun of the names of all the Catholic, and I would make them up.
That's a pretty crazy name.
Yeah, I could do a Catholic church name generator, and I used to do that to my wife, and it used to piss her off. But she started laughing. She's like, okay, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is like you could have your own form. Catholics could have their own form of Gloria Veil, where they can have their own.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So you have your own town where it's nothing but Catholics everywhere,
Yes.
and they all go to mass at the same place.
Yeah. And clearly, it's also a university.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they require you to eat Domino's pizza there, kind of like
There
Scientologists.
actually is not
Required.
a Domino's pizza restaurant in the town.
Isn't that ironic?
It is ironic.
In fact, we looked it up. There's all these other pizza places in
Yes.
the town, right? There is no Domino's.
No, there's
It's
no
very
Domino's.
Christian of him.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you could. Well, it would have been self-promotion, I guess, if you would have done that, right?
Well, it is kind of self-promotion because if you look at it, all around the outside is you know how they'll put brick for sidewalks. One of the bricks has
A domino piece. Is it? All right. No, jeez, that's funny.
like inlaid in the brick.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, all 12 apostles are inside near the sacristy. It's just gorgeous.
Cool.
So
That is cool.
yeah, you definitely Google it and look at it. When you watch that video that I shared with you,
Okay.
I'm telling you what,
look that up.
having a Eucharist with Domino's breadsticks wouldn't be a bad thing.
Oh, it would be.
You might get more people coming to mass.
That's true.
Good. Let's end with sacrilege and heresy. That's awesome.
Well, no, I'm saying if it was blessed, it's the same thing, isn't that bread that we have?
It's
What's the
not.
difference? What's unique about the crackers we have?
There's a difference.
What is it?
Well, they have to be a certain proportion of wheat to whatever. There's
Oh, do they
there's
really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe not wheat because there are gluten-free ones, but there are specifics.
Oh, are there?
Well, I'm going
I
to
don't
be
know
very
what they are.
careful on this topic, but I am going to say they're sold on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are companies that make them,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And there are types of bread you can use, but
Yeah.
it has to meet certain requirements.
And I'm pretty sure there was also like.
I don't think it can be deep fried and baked or whatever they do with that.
If they use Mancini's bread, then you're telling me that that wouldn't be a pretty good situation.
I don't think there can be any Parmesan involved.
Yeah, you should want to get as close to the as possible.
It has to be unleavened.
Yeah.
Well, when they show Jesus with the apostles,
'Cause
the
I have
bread
seen
is
it.
leavened. He's showing them breaking
Yeah.
bread.
Yeah.
I don't know the requirements. I'm just saying
Yeah.
you can't use pizza crust. I'm very confident in that.
Because if you could, they would be serving it up.
Why wouldn't everyone?
I'll take an extra large.
There's the instead of the gluten-free line, there's the pepperoni line, and then there's
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, let's stay away from that.
okay.